Hey, it's Tim Terrio. Today we're talking about the Terrio Edge and about sports training. And sitting between a couple of my little collection of pieces here. Richard Dent, congratulations, just got nominated to the Hall of Fame, just got elected to the Hall of Fame. And yeah, I know you Packer fans won. I'm going to congratulate you, but you barely got by us Bears. So, as an avid Bears fan, I can't, give you much more than that love. Today we want to talk about sports training and what's the biggest mistake people make in sports training. And I'd like to go back to that ultimate athlete, Benjamin Franklin. He was such an amazing athlete. But he was known for his wisdom. And one of his famous quotes was, "By failing to prepare, we are preparing to fail." And I think that's very important in sports, especially with all this emphasis on performance enhancement. What do you do? What kind of program are you on? But really, the point of performance enhancement is to get better on the field, right? Or the court or the ice or wherever you happen to be in your athletic performance. So when we look at this, by failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail. I think that's the goal of any athlete. We all sit back, we watch the Olympics, we dream about standing up there getting a gold medal. Anybody that's ever picked up a ball, a hockey stick, you name it. We've all had those illusions of sitting there wondering what that would be like, to be the champion, to put the ring on, to hold the trophy up. The Packers just got to do it, and that's an amazing feeling. I was fortunate when I was with the Dodgers that we won 2 championships in the minor leagues, and I can tell you there's no feeling like that in the world, to be the champion of any league. So we start looking at these sports training programs, and what do we really want to accomplish? Well, the one thing is we want to hit that championship goal. But when we start looking at what does that take? Well, we know from motor learning that it takes millions and millions of repetitions to get a skill down pat, to become proficient, to become automatic with it. And not only just repetitions, but precise repetitions where you have the feedback, that was it successful, was it not successful? And that's what it's going to take. And that's through research, years of work, not a little bit of time. It's not something you perfect right away. So whenever we start talking about performance enhancement, the other thing that comes up is, it's a natural athlete. So-and-so's a natural athlete. There I like to look at Willie Mays. I think we'd all agree that Willie Mays is one of the best baseball players of all times. For you young people out there, if you don't know who Willie Mays is, you really need to look into that, okay? There's the internet. Get out there and check it out, because Willie Mays was incredible. But somebody asked him one time, "Hey, Willie, what's it like to be a natural athlete?" And he said, "If working 8 hours a day for all these years makes me a natural athlete, I guess I am." And Willie had it right. He might have been gifted with some genetics. Genetics come into play a little bit. It tells us how tall we're going to be. It tells us whether you're going to be male or female. It dictates a little bit about how much percent of fast twitch versus slow twitch fiber you have, the amount of elastin you have, so how flexible you are. But really, sports is about what do you do with what you've got. And I can guarantee you one thing, after all these years, 20 plus years of training athletes, very few athletes ever reach their maximal potential. I mean, there's always that little bit left. And I think that's the thing, like Lombardi said, back to you Packer fans, give me that guy that at the end of the day has given everything he's got, and that person's going to be a champion. And that's true, but it's over years and years of practice, and that's where most people aren't willing to go along and do what they need to do, because it's years and years of perfecting your skill. So that's the number one problem. And here's the funny part of the whole thing, right? It's life in general, too. I mean, that same thing holds true for life. We know that it's the people willing to put in the hard work to continue to refine their craft and get better and better and take years that ultimately become world class. The hard part is it takes years and years, not a quick fix like we always want now in the American society. So the biggest mistake with sports training and programs, don't argue about how many repetitions and everything else. It's, are you getting better? Are you preparing for what you need to do? When you're in a sport environment, that environment is completely uncontrolled. You have no idea what other athletes are going to do, so you have to be prepared for whatever comes at you. And when you can get that level, that's where the zone is, where the game slows down, because you're ready for whatever's going to come at you. So obviously we train a lot of athletes at the edge. We work on the performance side. We work on the muscles, the flexibility, the strength. The coaches out there, they work on perfecting that skill. And it's those two things coming together that can get you to that maximal level. If your goal is just to be at the best that you can be at a high school level, that's great. That's where you want to go. If your goal is to become a Division I athlete, and that's the top of the line for you, go get it. If you want to be a professional athlete, you better be working harder than all the rest of those other top college athletes, or you're not going to make it there. And then once you get into professional athletes, if you want to be all pro, all world, that's an even smaller percentage, and that's the people that work even harder than everybody else. There's no fluke that Walter Payton, one of my idols, Nolan Ryan, and Jerry Rice are three of the best players of all time because they were known for one thing. They worked harder than anybody else. And even when they got to those high levels, read Jerry Rice's book and read about even when he was the all-time leading receiver, he still was the first guy on the field and the last guy off. He still was doing ridiculous workouts in the offseason to stay in peak shape. That's what it takes to be world class.